Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. You are listening to Trace Elements Radio. I am your host, Tony King. Today, we have a very special guest. Most of you know him already, Chief Charles Twodog. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, Theo, how you doing, my brother?
Okay,
I'm
brother.
doing good.
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, buddy, it's just been, it's a great day to be here today, man. It's a great time to wake up and see the deer and everything else that's out here. Just having a great time. Had a great prayer ceremony this morning. Everything's going good.
That's what I like to hear. I hope everything is okay because I heard a nasty spill accident the other day.
Well, what it is, I've been diagnosed with a couple of nerve diseases that I've actually got. I've had to fight most of my life. That's pretty much what it's from. And one of them's called autonomic dysfunction. And what that'll do is if you stand up real quick or have to, stand up, you could just pass out. And the other day I was moving my garbage can over. And when I got there, it hit, and I just went head first and busted my eye. I kind of look a little bit like Rocky Balboa right now, but I'm doing all right.
Did I just lose you guys?
Hear me?
I'm with you.
Okay,
Can you guys hear me?
we can hear you now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. What I was just saying is, that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you today is the things that you're doing and the things that are coming your way.
Well, to be honest with you, Tony, what's going on really is we're getting flags from around the world. Some, American Indian First Nations, just flags coming in from around the world, Australia, Canada, let's see, Cuba, Panama, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Oh my God, we got about 19 of them right now, 2 more coming in. And one from Wales is on its way, and I think Wiltshire in the UK. So, also we just got Jamaica,
Awesome.
the flag of Jamaica. See, they're just coming in. I'm not buying these things. They're coming in. Matter of fact, there's an African nation waiting on me when I get back to Maryland.
Mm.
As far as Cameroon.
Now, for those who are unclear on the flags, the meaning, and why they're being sent to you, could you go into more detail about just the meaning, the message between these tribes, these groups of people sending you flags, and the meaning behind that?
Well, in our culture, as far as Indian on Turtle Island is pretty much Mitakuwa Asio, and it's Lakota state. We're all related. And basically the fact of the matter is nation to nation also, as far as my state tribe here, my nation here, if I meet with anyone, say, from the Maori in New Zealand, and both flags are flying together as the 2 dignitaries meet with each other, shows respect, and that's theirs flying with ours at the same time as we talk. So, it's a matter of understanding unity, understanding that we're all going through the same thing on this planet right now, and that we need to learn to help each other. And that's like my nation, as far as the Western Lenape Nation flag be flying, whoever comes out here as a dignitary to sit with me, their nation should be honored and be flying at the same time, right side by side.
So all the groups that are sending you flags you've met with?
No, to be honest, I haven't. But
So,
here's the thing. To actually have these flags anyway, because I don't, how do I put this? I don't know, since the Maori came and gifted us the first flag, okay, as far as Doreen Bennett is concerned, from the Maori people, they are the first nation to do this, to ever gift us one. And they sit with us out here. I've actually been at a powwow with her. I took her to one. Is that whoever, to have the flags here, just in case there's a dignitary that does come, I can immediately honor them by that nation be flying with mine.
so the Mari were the snowball that got the avalanche started for all this.
Yes, Tony. The Maori were the very first one to ever give this nation a flag. And matter of fact, it's flying out here with it now. But they are the first nation to ever do so, yes.
That's awesome. Now, what exactly does this mean? Not only for you, but for everybody here on this planet, for you to receive, or even just on Turtle Island, for you to be receiving these flags?
Well, number one, it's humbling. Number one, I'm going to say that straight out. It's a humble honor, because, just to walk down your mailbox, open the mailbox, and there's a flag from Australia in it, which we do have now. But see, this is one of the things I'm trying to share to people. And that is, we're all in the same canoe in many, many, many ways, and that's worldwide. So if we can sit with each other and I can find out what's wrong, what your children need, how's your elders, is your life givers okay? What's going on that I can stand with you with, because we're all got the same problem here: water rights, land rights, living in general. We all have this. We all are having the same problem. There's no reason to fight at all. We got to stand together, one mind, one heart, one spirit. Because there's no reason to fight my brother. I'm supposed to help my brother.
Exactly. I totally agree with you.
So there's a whole lot of that being talked about right now.
And the fact that you're not requesting these flags, they're being sent to you. So these groups of people believe in you. You are the peacemaker.
Well, to be honest, Tony, let me explain something to you on that. You just hit a point, and I would like to explain this.
Please.
Well, one day, and I told Sister Tracey about this vision, to be honest. I was sitting out here, absolutely nothing going on, and there was this big bright light, and this is pretty much an evening time. And when I looked up, I could see a native spirit in the sky, to be honest. And a man, I saw a native man. He bent down, and when he come back up, he had beads in his hand. And when he done, he was smiling at me. And he reached out with the beads in his hand toward me. Okay? It sounds like the peacemaker to me. But it seems to me that I've, spiritually going in that direction. So I'm not questioning the Creator, and I'm not going to question any vision sent by the Creator, I'm just going to do, if you understand.
You're embracing it.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I think that's an amazing thing in itself that not only have you been shown things by the Creator, but you have embraced that mission, which is a very profound mission in itself.
Well, yes, it is. You know, the thing about it is, and I found out even from like the Maori New Zealand, or Aotearoa as they say it is, and us here in Turtle Island or the African nations or the Caribbean people, is that we're all starting to speak together. I spoke when I was in Maryland the last time with my daughter. I spoke to people of the Cameroon nation. Let's see. Matter of fact, it was Puerto Rico and Japan. So we are even the Japanese people are talking with me right now. The fact of the matter is, and Liberia, is that we're learning to speak to each other in one tone voice. We're starting to recognize that we're not different. Culturally, yes. You know, maybe spiritually, yes. But we all love our children and our wives and our husbands. And we all joke around and play around with our families. We're not that different.
We're all under the same umbrella.
Yes. Yes. And, you know, it's kind of like, okay, if you think about it, it's prophecy. Look at the Rainbow Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And what are these nations? You've got black, white, yellow, red from the four directions. They're sending me these flags, brother. I'm not asking.
And that's the thing right there. That's at least for me, that is the thing that really grasped me when you told me about this. You're not asking for this. It's coming to you naturally. So
yes.
Speaking on prophecy and Tracey and we've talked about this off air and on air, how civilizations have rise and died, and people have built over those set civilizations several times without even realizing they're building over each other.
Right.
Do you feel that with the way the events are playing out, with people embracing their mission, do you feel that we can finally stop that cycle and actually retain some of ourselves instead of losing ourselves every so often?
Well, see, here's what I think about the human being here. We are all tribal people at one time. I don't care what color, race, creed, color you were. You were all tribal.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. What I'm actually trying to do is I'm laying out the blanket and I'm setting on my mother, and I'm just asking people around the world that have the same mindset, is that we are now going to have to come set with people, black, white, yellow, red, it don't matter, that don't see color. I don't want to see color, man. I want to see the integrity of the individual, as Martin Luther King said. Okay? My hero, by the way. It's not about color. It's the human being. And we're all human beings here. And if we cannot speak to each other and hold out our hands to each other, the children, the elders, and the life givers, and the warriors, and stand one mind, one heart, one spirit, we as a human animal may not exist long, because it's this war metabolism that has got us unfocused that is going to cause the problem, and we may not be here as a species if we don't come together really, really quick.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
I went from a warrior that just wanted to fight when I was younger. Okay, I admit that. I didn't want to lead. I wanted to fight because I've seen too much stuff going on and had to deal like that when I was a kid. I had to grow up too fast. But grandfather has turned me completely around to not question, just do. So spiritually, I've become a whole different individual.
I'd like to expunge on that more, because you have an amazing story. You know, the things that you are doing now are phenomenal. And I'd like to get people who are unfamiliar with your story, you know, a glimpse into how you became the man you became today. Would you mind talking about how, you know, the things that happened to you and how they led
Yeah.
into today's events?
Well, to be honest, I'll be straight up with you, man. My mother is Eastern Band Salagi. My father is Haudenosaunee. New York Mohawk, by the way. But the fact of the matter is, my grandfather was one of the only traditionals left in my family, so I kind of drew to him. And when I was 4 years old, I even told my grandfather, I held my hand out, straight out. I had my fingers straight apart. I said, if we stay like this, we're always going to be run over, disrupted, destroyed, spiritually, mentally, all of this. And then I closed my fist up when I was 4. I said, if we all come like this, there's more power, more strength. We come together, unity. So he took me to the elders when I was 4. I had to tell them. And they said, to be honest, that if he didn't shut me up, there was a bullet for me. Well, I've done had my bullet. They've shot at me already. But here's the point. My father left when I was 7. So I pretty much ended up on the street, to be honest with you. From 7 till I was 20. I was an alcoholic, drug addict, sleeping and eating out of garbage bins. Just a street kid, to be honest. Just fighting for survival, to be honest about it. And, doing what I had to do on the street. I couldn't help it. That was where I was. So I went from that to, I got elected, not last February, but the February before that, as principal chief of this nation. To be honest with you, brother, I didn't even run. I didn't run for no election. The people elected me.
The people knew.
But see, here's the point, bro. I grew up a lot around the the black man. I grew up a lot around him.
Mm-hmm.
He took care of me when, I was beaten up, left for dead when I was like 12 by like 4 18-year-olds at a burial ground. And I'm going to give homage to this individual right now, and that was a black brother of mine. Oh, God, he lived to be 105, to be honest, before he died. But his name was Robert Bell. So I want to give homage to him because he brung me in after that, and it took me 6 months to get back on my feet. And that man helped get me back on my feet. And I hate to say it, but right after I got well, I was back on it again. I'm a buzzard man. I take care of burial ground down there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to stop just because I'm not going to stop just because I get my butt whooped. I'm going right back at you. That's just not in my DNA to quit.
That's that warrior spirit.
I can't help that. It's there. But when a child loses his father and there's no guidance, then you got to do what you got to do. So as a 7.5, 8-year-old boy, I kind of had to grow up quick. I had to do what I had to do out there. Sleeping and eating out of garbage cans, wait until, say, oh, God, this steak, I want a steak. So you have to wait till the steak place closes it down. Then you crawl in the dumpster and you eat. And then maybe you go to sleep. In the morning before it opens up, you see where the cops are going. You go in the other direction.
How did you overcome those odds?
Oh God!
Like, what was the breaking point?
Well, I sat there one time. Somebody invited me when I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. They invited me to this party. And I overdid it. I admit I overdid it. I always overdone it. And I went into the bathroom and I was combing my hair out and getting ready to leave their house and go back for what I do. And when I did, I looked in the mirror and I saw a dead man. I know what they meant by, I know what Steppenwolf meant, okay, when he said he's seen people walk around with tombstones in their eyes.
That's a powerful
I've seen
statement.
it. I've seen it myself out of me. So I went and I went out and I started praying to the Get You Money too. And I said, I got to quit this. If I don't, I'm going to die. And I quit all the alcohol and the drugs and everything when I was 20. And I just celebrated my 37th year of sobriety.
Congratulations, brother.
Don't think I don't still have that, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, bro. But it's a fight for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to keep the other kids off of this. I'm doing whatever I can do to keep other kids off. I mean, if you look at me, you definitely know you don't want it. Because I still have issues, man. But you deal with them. Huh?
Now, Tracey wants to talk more about the flags, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind at all.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tracey.
Sigali, Tracey.
Sigali's gonna go. I'm so glad you're doing this today, Tony. And we have to tell everyone that Tony is going to have his own show starting Tuesday and Thursday. It's going to be 8 p.m. EST. So it's going to be really nice having an evening show. And
Congrats.
this is going to be on Trace Elements Radio.
Congratulations.
I'm
Thank you.
going to help him so he could actually produce for himself. It'd be nice. So then we have two producers on the station, and
Because I have a lot of plans, and the
yeah,
things that I want, because I know Tracy likes to focus on the news, and I'd like to focus on health, empowerment, and some esoterica here and there, you know. But I definitely want to do some meditations with you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be wonderful. And um, I realize the way I look at things is different than most people. But I wanted to go back to the flags, Twodog, because you were a very humble man, and I am less humble in his regard, so, or in anyone's regard. You guys know this. So, the flags. Most people listening at least have seen or heard about colors. When you give someone your colors, this is the same for Native people, tribal people all over the world, basically. That when you put someone's banner above your hearth, this means that they are now your brother, that peace has been declared, and they are welcomed into your home. And this is usually done during a meeting. When you hang someone's flag, a people, a race, because it's getting big. We are not just talking about a village here. We're not talking about just one tiny place. When someone gives you the flag of their country, of their people, and you hang it out there, you have become a representative for that people. It's like what Twodog and I talked about when we were trying to discuss what a totem is. This has become part of a totem. When you hang their flag, they have joined your totem. That means between us, whether you are here or not, this is what it means when you keep the flag. We will always have peace. This is what the UN was supposed to mean, United Nations. So what Twodog is doing, and the fact that he's not asking for this, is that people are saying, with you, there will be peace with us. Now, I realize in this kind of Western idea that most people on this planet have now, we don't understand what the UN should mean. What it should mean to have those flags of these countries there flying, rain or shine, night or day. What that means, what Twodog is now starting to represent, is the true United Nations on this continent. And it doesn't matter if you're a president or king. This can only be delivered by a person, by a free and sovereign person. Not in the way we think of those titles, but when he is given these things and flies them, he's saying, here you are safe, you are protected. And it also means if he goes there, he is safe, he is protected, like you would family. The three of us, privately, and I haven't gotten into it much because, I haven't been feeling well, as everyone knows. There is a prophecy. Now, you will not find this prophecy online. You can't, because it's prophecy, and let me tell you, June is turning out to be friggin' prophecy month, and we're only at day 9. It's friggin' incredible. I'll go into that next week. I'm going to drag Twodog back in because we got to tell you what's going on this continent. But there is a prophecy in every culture on this planet, as far as I know, said maybe different ways, but it always talks about the return of the peacekeeper. Christians know this as the return of Jesus. But know that Jesus is not a man, it was a title in the old way. It didn't start with J. There was no letter J. It was a title of a man who speaks about the old ways. The old ways, and I've talked about this before, is the return of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
What we are seeing around this planet is the desecration of the mother. In every single way, in every way they possibly can, even that ridiculous thing that they did in the tunnel opening. Talked about bringing back this old god, a really dark one, but they use the mother's symbolism for this. The only way this can happen, because there's still time, we are deep in the 6th extinction right now. Sharks who have lasted through 3 extinction events are close to death right now. So the other thing I'm going to make sure Twodog has, and I would like to send this out too for the people who are listening, to send him flags with animals on them.
Mm.
We want them to know that they're in the family too.
Definitely.
And what Twodog has done with his past of starvation and desecration and violence against him, and even walking the bad side of the rainbow path, which is drugs. Walking out of that, he made the choice that most of us have to make. When you face the darkness, and I mean, one darkness is a mother, then the other darkness, we know what that is too. There's only a couple of things you can do when you face that darkness. You ignore it, you accept it, or you light a candle and kill that effing thing. That's what Twodog has done. As a man, before he was chief, he did the brave thing. He walked the middle path, seeing that both sides are there, but he pulled himself out of it himself. And because of that, it was a woman who said, you need to be chief of this nation. He was chief before, but this is the old way. We're talking about, for the longest time, and I know they've told you that we've gone through hell for a long time. I'm reading the histories and telling you that, but I don't think it was that long. That there were no chiefs. There were elders. And this was all over the world. Elders.
Right.
People who knew the nature. I don't want to use the word shaman, because shaman comes from this event that happened. A real event where this Dutch man went up north in Russia, saw women worshiping, so that he called them shadow men. He was frightened. He ran away. So shaman was actually a negative term. But we've always had people who could still speak to the nature. We've always had people who knew that, look, we've been told these things. Even the term Father, Son, Holy Spirit. No. Father does not have a son unless he's got a woman. Mother, father, child. The symbol of the 3, which is very important to all of us here. Yeah, there's a friggin' shadow. The Holy Ghost. They want to kill us, is what they want. Especially the women, especially the woman energy. And the energies that we see on this planet, many of them are going towards the dark side. Many. Women and men. But when we embrace the light, the true light, when we light a candle, even when we're afraid, even when we don't think we can do it, others notice. Others notice. There needs to be, and even what you said, Twodog, which was so important, that people from all over the world, all the colors, the true colors of the people that we are now, are sending you flags unsolicited. You're not asking for these things. They're coming to you. This, and sitting right here, a black man, well, whatever the hell I am, everything else, and that too.
Tracy,
In
are you going to go
council,
into the witch?
oh, please go on.
I was going to ask, since you're here and you're bringing the divine feminine, I want to know, because we talked about this off air, if you're going to talk about the witch.
Yeah,
Let me explain something to you, Tony, real quick before my sister starts speaking again.
please.
Okay? Oh, number one, I want to thank you very much, Tracy, because I do hold the Mohawk flag, and I do hold the Iroquois Confederacy flag, and I do hold the two-row peace flag. I do hold that. Now, one thing I do want to let people understand about these flags, if both nations are coming together to meet, the first thing that enters my mind is I put that two-row peace flag in the middle. One flag of that nation is flying, the two-row peace flag is in the middle representing peace,
Nice.
and our nation is over here. It's the thing of peace is what I'm asking for. So I wanted to relay that. Thank you, Tracy, for the Iroquois Confederacy flag and the Mohawk flag that I do hold. I honor that very, very much since I do have Mohawk heritage. I do hold that very honor too. But here's the thing. If it wasn't, and I'm going to hold this straight up the way it is, I used to think I couldn't do anything, Tony. I was nothing. I was just here. I was just living my life out. That's what I thought. But if it wasn't for this sister saying, you know, you can do it. You can do it. Are you sure? Well, in about 10 minutes, you're fixing to do it. She gave me a lot of power spiritually to say I could do anything I wanted to. I had no one in my past, my brother, even when they hung me from that tree that I had to fight to get down from. No one in my past gave, other than Little Bull, my grandfather, gave me the encouragement that this woman gave me to do anything I want to do. So I humbly give you that honor, Trey.
Well, I accept that and thank you. You know, you've been on all kinds of people's show, and I'm like, listen, you need a show. And I have to say, and everyone's probably noticed this, when I ask a question, I'm not really asking a question. I am saying this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready.
Yes.
Yes. You can work on it. Not really.
But it works. So it
Sure.
works for me, Trey.
Yeah, and you're magnificent. You know, I have two magnificent warriors by my side here. And, you know, when I'm feeling poorly, I have no problem asking them for help and knowing that this will just be taken care of.
And I have no problem stepping up either.
Yep.
No. There is no problem for me to step
And
up to you.
this is the
It's all
divine
good.
male. There must be the two, the feminine, the masculine. There must be. You know, we hear so much on the talks right now on which is the worst one. There is an
Mm-hmm.
undivine masculine ruling this roost. Unfortunately, he's usually a cross-dresser, but, you know, when things suck, they suck. But the undivine feminine is also a powerful force on this planet right now, or our men would not be so effed up. But when you feel and hear the trueness of divinity that men and women hold, you know it's right. It's not a question, and it's not a matter of who's in charge. We are standing at each other's side, back to back if we have to. And, you know, I'm feeling a little of that sometimes, where, you know, the wind is blowing and the changes and the horrific events going on, and it sounds like we are just a couple of quiet people. But I'm here to say a couple of quiet people doing the right thing speaks volumes. It's loud. Sometimes quiet is loud. If you've ever been in the deep dark in a cave where it's really, really black, you know that silence and darkness is not silent. And even the darkness is almost palatable
Mm-hmm.
for the good. And
Mm-hmm.
goodness will win. We still have a chance on this planet. I know it's looking like we don't. And I'm hearing people fighting over the most ridiculous things. And of course, every government is all in, just about, into this darkness. Into this, we are going to rape this planet to death.
Not that good darkness
Mm.
either. When you're in a cave in complete darkness, it's that darkness that I was talking about the past few shows.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Been
I
there,
don't know
done
if
that.
everybody can feel it, but I know you two feel it because I feel it.
it's the ether. It's the triple darkness. It's the womb. It's the mother.
That's why we
Let me
need
say
ether
this.
masters.
Let me say this for you, Tracy. When your father sung a song about this thing he saw, about it troubling him some more, that deep song he sung. And I told you I was singing right with it the very first time I heard it. Didn't even know the lyrics of it. I was singing with your father. Only thing I can say, my sister, is I've seen it. I know what he's singing about. But from the darkness will come light if you keep your spiritual thought and keep your heart beating from mind to spirit and keep that rolling. Because I've seen what your father was singing about.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
was
that.
there.
I've
I
seen
was
that.
there, seen it.
I know when we
I,
first listened to it, and I'll find it so I can play it for everybody after the next break if you guys
it'll
are
be
okay with
awesome.
that. Um,
Blues come down the alley, knocked on my back door. Say, looky here, Harry, wanna worry you some more. If I ever get a friend, hope she don't change her mind. If I ever get a friend, hope she don't change her mind. Get some loving, give her all of mine. If I get a little money, oh, I know I got to watch her clothes. If I get a little money, I know I got to watch her clothes. Hard times, they will drive you door to door. Talk about trouble, I had it in my early days. Yeah, talk about trouble, had it in my early days. Men and women, Lord, with their evil ways. I got to moan the back alley blues away, and moan back alley blues away. Get myself on the main street one of these days, one of these days. Oh Lord, I got the back alley moon.
I know there is evil, and it's invisible evil. So you would think that that is the darkness. That is not the darkness. The darkness enfolds you. It wraps around you. It's nourishing. But the evil is cold. And it is invisible. And it makes waves. You can feel it. It goes into your bones. It hurts you. And a lot of us who are sick right now, kind of, I think anyway, speaking for myself, have kind of beat ourselves up, but we're not strong enough. We are feeling what's going on, and it's just a matter of finding that one light. You find that one light, or you find your space in that darkness. We can still change this. I've not lost hope. I never will give up. Never.
Let's put it this way,
Right
too,
there with
Tracey
you.
and Tony. I'll tell you real quick, Tony, and I'll let you have your show back, okay? But real quick, for both of you and for those who are listening, I'm going to tell you about myself. Right now, to a lot of maybe high wigs, maybe whatever, which I don't really care. I've been fighting my whole life since I would come out of my mother. The way I look at it and what I'm seeing, especially with what's going on with me and these flags that are coming in and everybody else. To a lot of people, I'm becoming extremely dangerous because of what I'm talking about.
How dangerous are we talking? I like to know. I'm sure a lot of other people like to know how dangerous this can get.
Well, to be honest with you, the way I look at it, even if you kill my body, you can't take my spirit. So I'm just going to, if it ever came down to it, I would just take myself to the mother and come on. I don't care. I'm good. But the way I look at it in all humbleness, when you're talking about bringing people around the world together, one mind, one heart, one spirit, and then you have the war pig metabolism of the patriarchal society where men are dominant, that's not where I come from. I'm just a spokesman to people, man. That's all I am. But I answer to my women. The women are the life givers. Without them, there would be no nation on this mother right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm dangerous, then I'm just dangerous. I'm sitting right here. Okay, hey, as the Lakota say, it's a good day to live, good day to die. I'm
I
not
agree.
doing
There's
anything
nothing.
no more. I'm not doing anything anymore than what my brother John Trudell did, or Geronimo, Crazy Horse, Joseph Brandt, anybody that had that spirit. I'm not doing Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I'm not doing anything any more than they did. But you know what happens to people of peace.
Mm-hmm.
Not this
So if
time.
it happens, okay, hey, man.
Not this time.
Not when you got us got your
Yeah, you
back.
got us.
Well, I'm just the type warrior that will stake himself to the ground. If this is the way it wants to roll, I'll roll with you.
Remember the stories of the
I
dog
got no problem.
soldiers I told you guys about, how they would stake themselves to the ground and say, I'm not moving.
I
And
did it
sometimes
time or two.
they would tie themselves to a tree. And this has been done all over the world. And say,
Yes, it
even
has.
if I get scared, we're staying here together. We're not moving. And
Mm-hmm.
it's that time. It's that time where we have to say, we will not be moved. You can't push us anymore. We can't go to a government because, my government, when I told you guys that they got Africans in there to help with the fire. And know that over half of the firefighters battling what's going on in Canada right now are Native.
Right.
They brought these Africans in there, have them working 12 hours a day, 14 days straight, and they're paying them $15 an hour. That's why they said no to everyone else, because the government in Canada is filth. These men are risking their lives, have come across the world from the old country, and they are treating them like slaves. Filth. We see filth in almost every nation on this planet because there is a big, filthy, nasty few in control. We are
Right.
those guys. And we come in all the colors of the rainbow. That's why there are so many rainbows being shown right now everywhere in the world, because they're reminding us we are family. The 7 colors and the 2 unseen, just like the 7 sisters and the 2 unseen systems. All 9 of us need to remember this is our home, this is our family, and we've had enough. It's over.
I can say it like this, Tracy, to myself. I'm going to do what I got to do while I'm here, because I'm also doing it for my daughter and 7 generations from her, and I'm doing it for every kid out there. I want you to have a better life than me. I went through the red N word. I went through the N word. I marched with the Martin Luther King movement. I saw what these police officers were doing with their dogs. I was right there. I saw it. The thing about it is, being an 8-year-old kid, I just seen this stuff. That's it.
All right, guys, we're coming up on our 1-hour break. We will definitely continue more with this because we have definitely a lot more to talk about. Thanks for joining us, Tracey. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I love when you bring that divine feminine.
Bet you was my little
Welcome back, all you beautiful people. This is Trace Elements Radio, 2nd hour. We have Chief Charles Twodog, and we are joined by the awesome Tracey Kennedy, who is feeling high in spirits today. She's bringing the divine feminine. All 3 of us have formed Voltron. And Tracey was
Thanks
cut
for having me
the
on,
break.
too.
Yeah.
And Steve for having me on, too, man.
Oh, thanks for joining us. What'd you say, Tracey?
We were a little bit super nerd.
A little bit. She hit me with a Kamehameha wave full of nerdum in one message.
That's right. That's how I roll.
That's my girl.
we need that energy right now, you know.
And Tuesday, I am officially back. And
Yes.
I will give you thrills and chills and Dr. Feelgood drills because, you know, we are living in the age of the drill.
Mm-hmm.
So expect them false flags, boys and girls, because, oh my God.
Yeah, I've been keeping up on some news. I know Tracy's been digging deeper, and I can't wait to hear what you have to share.
Yeah, I've been able to write more about it because, you know, when I don't have to use the energy to speak, I've written a lot about what's going on. And yes, absolutely, the tunnel is a big deal. We're going to go into that and the drills and who came out of the tunnel and how the announcer actually said, the portal the tunnel we just built, and I'm like, really,
Thank
my
you.
brother? I'm like,
Thank you.
yes, you did. And guess where it's close by? CERN. So, talk about the attack on the mother. They build a machine, which is the AI version of a womb and a penis, basically. So, we're going to talk about what shot out of the penis in their little naked ritual where they have everyone dressed like prisoners or minors because they're, the people slaving in the underworld. And I'm like, really? We're going to just do this on my freaking time off?
Or spirits in those clear through veils they were wearing.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then the angel, and then the face of Azazel,
And
and
Baphomet and the sheep.
oh, and the sheep. You gotta love the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they could have brought another manifestation of that God, I couldn't have thought of it because they pretty much just thrown it out there. And I could only watch 5 minutes. I'm trying to heal, so I can't watch the whole manifestation. But actually, at the time, the guy went, "Oh, look, so the portal's done, and it's a little weird." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, did you just say portal?" And he went, "I'm sorry, I said tunnel." And I'm listening, and so he can't hear me. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I caught that one too. I was like,
You just said
yeah,
that, didn't you? Just said it.
let's call the
Yeah,
kettle black.
it's a thing, and they want us to be very, very afraid of their little, you know, infinite, is it? Cross-dresser, basically. They want Hermes Trismegistus. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care how many ways you dress up the horned god. I know who he is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not afraid of him.
No, not when you got us three and the other warriors around the planet.
That's right. I already have a womb. I don't have to look. And, I still suggest that those people, maybe if they had a girlfriend, seriously, like I did with CERN, if you would get girlfriends, you would not need to build this thing. But it's okay. I'll go into it next week and we'll talk about the drills and the chills and the thrills and the Dr. Feelgood pills because there's new pills out now too.
Oh yeah.
So
Got to taint nature some more.
you got to taint it some more, so I'm going to drag probably both of you guys in here.
I'm down.
Be an honor.
So
Oh.
we'll do news as I do, and then we'll finish up the Prince topic because some more weird stuff just came out. And I'm like, oh, look, they found the drug in his system that I said they injected him with. And they said, the weird thing about it? And I'm like, okay, please enlighten me. What is the weird thing? The weird thing is this doctor who actually studied that drug decided not to look about AIDS or if he was taking anything else. Or, no, she actually said, yeah, that was weird. He overdosed on a drug that he had only taken once. And it looks like his body was transported from one place to another. She goes, but it's all good. I'm not looking into it anymore. It's fine. I'm signing papers. I'm like, okay, good. That's awesome. And Prince Vault has officially been opened. So on YouTube, they're releasing songs that he said, I don't want it on YouTube. I want you to pay for this, which I respect. It's his music. But now it's opened. Someone's got it. We still don't know who that is unless you listen to my show. And I said, it's that guy. So stay tuned. I'm going to be back on Tuesday and Thursday. And in those two shows, I'm hoping to give you 9 days of the apocalypse because Muhammad Ali died the beginning of Ramadan and Muhammad. And this year, Ramadan is something that it's never done. It's for 33 days. So welcome to Apocalypse Month, live on Trace Elements Radio.
The
Please,
unveiling.
please go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
Because, woo! June's got it going on.
Hey, got to do it in the 6.
Yeah, in the 6.
The sixes were wild this year.
The 6s are wild. 6 has gone wild because 6 is sex.
Mm-hmm.
And, they want to do everything but have sex. If they had sex, maybe, with consenting adults, it would be okay.
The 6, the socks, the soul order crossed out. And I definitely wanted to go more into, because we could definitely talk about a number of things, especially with all of us. But I did want to go more into the flags. Chief Charles Twodog becoming chief of Turtle Island, what that means, and the ceremony, and the person who would need to basically usher in Chief Charles Twodog as the chief of Turtle Island. And Tracey knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
If you're feeling up to it.
Okay. Another secret prophecy. Not so secret, really. It's just, you've probably not heard it like this. So, in order to maintain balance, or to bring balance back to the planet, where you can still have the two sides, the male and female, the left and right hand, but be neither of those things. What we have to do is bring back the mother. So I actually found something, Twodog, I haven't told you yet, so this would be news to Twodog too, because I didn't know that it existed. There is a flag from Ymera, goddess of the waters, basically. I found it in Haiti. So I'm getting shipped the Haitian flag and the flag of the waters and sending them to you to put with the other flags.
Oh my God! Thank you.
So the prophecy is that the man who holds counsel will have the flag of the mother as his banner. I found it. And it's here so I can douse it with oils and smoke it, basically. I'm not going to smoke the flag, but I'm going to bathe it in smoke, and then I'm going to send it to you. This is officially what needs to be done. I am not an elected leader. No one has chose me to do this. I'm stepping up and doing it anyway. May mean nothing. May mean everything.
Okay, this is how I feel. I don't see it not meaning anything. If it did mean anything to anybody, then it would be those whose control systems are obsolete, that we do not need. And I'm talking about those who subscribe to blood quantum and the separation, the disconnection between all of our people in every shape and form. Because right. Tracey has just as much power and right than somebody who's on a reservation or in the government or what have you. Even more, I say, because I know the kind of spirit Tracy is.
Believe me, I know. Well, Tony, to be totally honest, okay, blood quantum. My people never did that,
Oh
but
no,
it's a malfunction of keeping separate, divide, conquer crap. But
it's the same
with
concept as.
with what Tracy's talking about, you have to understand about me, brother. Everything I do is for people. It is not about me.
Hmm.
I've always been that way since I was 3, 4 years old. It's always been about life of something else. It's never been about humble. I'm just humble. I'm a humble individual. But the thing about it is, you hurt something, the dog will change, especially if I care about it.
Hmm.
And my name, okay? I was named after the Dog Star series, by the way. But anyway,
Mm.
it's a thing of being humble in this world. I've been humble all my life. So when Tracey said, "Hey, you can do a show, man," oh, can I? Well, she's proved that I could. She helped. She helped an humble man understand where he is. So with that aspect, I will always thank Tracey for that. But I've always been a warrior and did at even when I was 4, I didn't even think about it. I just did it. This is what come into my heart and in my mind, and that's what I spoke to other people. Like it or not like it, this is what it is. I'm a humble individual, truthfully. And humbleness is what if you think about it, humbleness is what a leader does. If he does for the people and don't think about himself.
Exactly.
Because when you give, it all gets returned. If you do it in the correct way.
Yeah, Chief Charles Twodog has not asked for any of this whatsoever. This is all just came to him. This has all been handed to him by people who believe in him, believe in his spirit.
The
And
thing about it is, brother, with so much going on and so many flags coming in, I'm thinking to myself, look, I'm not, I don't ask for them, but if you want me to, I'll start whatever you want. Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to bring people together all over the world. If there's a possibility to do so, they're not myself.
when you started to receive these flags, did you notice any kind of change within you, whether it was physical, mental, spiritual?
Well, you got to understand with the fights and stuff that I've actually had physically. Physically, I'm 57 going on 109. If you think about it. If you only think about it.
Hmm.
But spiritually, I just got started. It ain't over. Ain't nothing over till it's over. The Creator calls me home. That's when it's over. And I'm here to fight for all people. I don't care. I love your kids too. In other words, let me explain something, and this is how I'm going to say it. Okay. People around the world, all people, all nations have a right to exist. And if you don't like me saying what I'm fixing to say, then this is groovy too. I don't care. If you look at Palestine in itself, I feel you, brother, and brothers and sisters in Palestine, because it happened here. Everyone has a right to exist, and that includes my Palestinian brothers and sisters. Okay? You can say about the government of Israel, what they're doing to Palestine, which I think is if you're been oppressed, you do not oppress someone else. But what I'm stating is Israel, Palestine, all of Turtle Island's first people, all people around the world, and that includes the African people. Every nation on this planet has a right to exist, and that includes my Palestinian brothers and sisters. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and that goes back to the whole separation thing. It comes in different forms. You got blood quantum with the Native Americans, with the African Americans. It's basically light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair. Anybody who's black and educated has forgotten where they come from. You know that whole thing. And we really need to open our eyes, all of our eyes, not just the two that we physically see with. We
Right.
really need to open up our our spirits and connect with one another, and see
Yes.
that these differences are so minute they don't even really mean anything. I
Let
mean,
me
you're talking
explain.
about just a pigmentation in your skin that allows you to absorb more
Yeah,
solar
yeah.
radiation.
Let's look at it this way, Tony. And this is how I look at it as well. Now, when I heard Martin Luther King talk about this, how he wants to see all people, all children sitting down together. Here's the point. This is why I talk this way also. I don't want to look at the color, man. It ain't about the color. It's about the human being, the integrity of the individual. It's about the human being. I can sit down with anybody from anywhere because I look at you as an equal to me. I don't look at you as I'm over you. No one's over nobody.
Exactly.
We can talk. So it's not about color, man. It's about it's about the individual. It's about the human being.
Hmm.
Because to be honest, whether you're black, white, yellow, red, brown, whatever, on this planet, when you come home, you hug your kids, you hug your wives, your husbands, you sit down, you laugh with them, you eat with them. So do I. We're not that different. We all do it. There's really not that difference within the human being. Culturally, learn from each other. But here's the point. We have to learn from each other. We have to sit down in the common understanding that whether you're African from Africa or I'm Indian from Turtle Island or you're from Saudi Arabia or wherever you're from, it's the same deal. Okay? We all laugh with our children. We all love our children. We all eat together. We all do this. People do the same worldwide. So truthfully, we're not that different. As far as blood quantum is concerned, they throw that on us. Okay? I thought you only did that to what they call dogs and horses, okay?
Hmm.
Oh, you have, so you
Not
do that
now,
to a human being too.
right there, you made such a valid point. They do that to dogs and horses. What are dogs and horses perceived in society? Now take
Right.
that and how do
Yeah.
how does that apply to how they view Native Americans?
Now, let me explain this, Tony. If you look at it fully. when it comes to First Nations Indian people in Canada, or the Indian from Mexico, or the American Indian here, we were not considered human. They did not. The ones who landed here did not consider us human till, I think, 1930 something. We were not even considered a human being. So in the same aspect, what's that?
Hey, as far as the Constitution goes, I'm only 2/3 a person, so I can relate.
Let's look at this. In the Constitution of the United States right now, I'm going to go here. In the Constitution of the United States, and it's still in effect, okay, that a black man is only 3/4 human. Go ahead, Tony. I got to help this dog.
No, you're fine.
Okay, now I got him set up. But if you look at the Constitution of the United States of America,
mm-hmm.
It states in the Constitution that a black man is only 3/4 human. What's that crap?
It's a powerful programming to instill on somebody to make them feel less of themselves, so they don't realize the true power that they have.
Exactly.
And that was going back into what I was talking about on Tuesday with the Ether Masters, the Ethiopians, the burnt man. You know, they didn't want us. We're talking about the people, and I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking because there were more than black people in North America. We had black, brown, we had white, because we had the Vikings that came over way before the other Europeans came.
Right.
And they had already married into tribes, so you already had some diversity here. But these were the people all over the planet who were building the pyramids, who were setting up the grid, which I feel like the grid has something to do with the firmament that protects this planet, but we can go on that into a different show. But anyway, they didn't want those people to realize who they really were. That's why they had us believe that they brought all the black people on ships all the way from Africa, when these people could barely survive the Black Plague, let alone that kind of trip. They didn't have. If they couldn't do it on their own. They needed help, basically.
Let me say this from First Nations people and from American Indian people. Okay, if you look at our culture, our tradition, we are people of the drum. Okay, that's number one. If you look at the Underground Railroad, when that started happening, okay, and the African people that were here, the African culture and the Indian culture was totally similar, completely. You look at, you go down into Florida, Seminole were, and the African people that went to the Seminole people. And then you look up there, First Nations, and look at the, how I say it, Mohawk and the Haitian people, okay? And people from Haiti, right? When this war was going on and the Underground Railroad was going on, the Indian and the African people and the Indian and the Haitian people, we are people of the drum. We intermarried to each other. It truthfully did. So when the white man that thought they owned a human being, as far as the African, went down to the Seminole, because I remember that, hearing about this from Seminole people, okay? And they stated to the Seminole, we want our property back, talking about these human beings. We looked at our African brothers, looked at the man that said they owned that and basically said, you want your property? Come get it. Basically, we married into that same culture, in a similar culture, similar understanding. People, the drum. We married into the African people. Indian people did do that. It's in the history. It's in our oral history. It's happened. So when they stated that they want their property back, we're kind of like, well, you want it? Come get it, because you ain't getting it. You have to come over us to get to that. They didn't do it. We married into it. That's history maybe some people don't know.
Well, that was the real historical events that took place, not the history that was taken from us and tainted.
Yeah.
Because we both know, and most people listening know, that history is written by those who win the wars.
History is written by the victor,
Mm-hmm.
according to them. That's true. And history is not, well, I got thrown out of the 8th grade. I wasn't asked to leave. They threw me out because, honestly, I told my history teacher, yeah, I don't mean no disrespect, but you're lying. You know, when he said that Custer was standing with all his hair, well, number one, he cut his hair before the battle.
Because he didn't want
that's number one. And number two was, from what I was told by these Lakota elders, is basically he was shot off his horse by a 12-year-old Lakota boy, and when he stood up, he shot himself in the head.
Cheddar Bob.
That's not in the history. That's not in the history book.
No, that doesn't make for good history, especially when you.
No,
when
that's
when
your
you have
leaders,
that person
man.
beating on the natives. Got to make it look good.
Yeah, you got to make it all look good, see? So everybody knows, especially Indian people, okay, to be honest with you, that we married into the African people. African people married into the Indian people.
Mm-hmm.
We're people of the drum, man. We understand each other. Culturally, the African and the Indian, we understood each other. So when the white man came and said, that's my property, I want it back, the Indian was kind of like, you want your property, you have to come through us. Come ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen, bro.
And you know what? The things that were happening in North America on Turtle Island were the same things that were happening in Alkebulan in Africa. Because you had blacks and natives, what you would call Native Americans, working together in Kemet. And there's depictions of that. You also had Asians there too.
If you want to really go, if you really want to go just completely into it, I'll tell you another historical fact that maybe you don't know.
Please do. Please share.
And I'm saying our listeners out there, if you really want to go here, look at what happened to Scotland, and they just perfected it on us when they come here. Between England and Scotland, if you had a leader in Scotland that was from the England at the time, if there were two Scottish people, a man and a woman, and that man and woman got married, the leader from England got to lay with your wife first to hopefully impregnate her, which means that when your baby is born, you're a little less Scottish. Breeding out. The only way to kill off a race is to breed it out. So that happened too. So what happened in Scotland, they just come here and perfected it on Indian people. history. Sorry to say it, but it's true. Tony?
Well, we've talked about on the shows in the past how even shaking somebody's hand, you are coming in contact and carrying forever with you that person's
Yes,
genetic signature. So think
yes,
about how strong or more powerful it is when you engage in sexual relations with somebody and that energy is amplified. And this is where sexual magic comes from.
right,
So
exactly,
it's even amplified when you are entering the womb.
right. It's amplified, exactly. Therefore, here's my viewpoint. Okay, if you actually think about it, this child would have been born English and Scottish both, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, you've just kind of sexually united two countries, two people. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's, what you guys are talking about is the deep magic here and why there always is mixing. The first thing that happens when anyone goes anywhere is like, and you don't even know that language, you
Mm-hmm.
find somebody. This
Right.
is the way of things. This is probably why natives here and certain places in India, certain places in Africa have that incredibly straight black hair and dark skin. This is the
Hmm.
mating. This is the joining. This is even the stories of Tiamat and her monsters, which, I am. We are
Mm-hmm.
mixed.
Right.
We are mixed. In order to be even stronger, and science proves this, this is deep science now. You are stronger the more mixed you are because we need this.
Just
This
like
is how the family works. This is how our planet works. We are not only mixed with other nations, which people are thinking is a big deal right now, but I mean, we have stuff in us that looks more plant than animal. We have stuff that looks more fish than mammal. We have things that are more mineral and not from here. So they must have fell in. Our mother finds lovers. You can look at all the stories like that. She finds a lover and she welcomes those children in. So there's no one any different here. There are not different people here. There are us from the mother. And she creates by her imagination. What they want is the AI. They want to build machines. They want to make laws. They want to tame us. Taming us, civilizing us. We always fight against that. Every culture, everywhere. We always fight and we always know it's wrong. We
you
don't
want
need to
that
be
in order to live.
civilized. We need to be uncivilized. We need to be free and wild. This is what we are.
Mm-hmm.
May I add that to that, Tracy?
Please do.
Let me put it to you this way. In the Bible, it states to go forth and tame the wilderness. Now, Indian people lived with nature. Therefore, they thought we had to be tamed too. And we were not considered human. Okay? There you go on that point. They thought we had to be tamed too, as the wilderness was tamed.
Every civilization, the ones that call themselves civilized, does that
Now,
immediately. They did it in Sumeria. They did it in
hmm
Chaldea. They did it all over Europe.
now, as John Trudell once stated, and I state this as myself, if you really want to know the great lie, what the great lie truthfully is, civilization. That's the great lie. there's nothing civil about it. There's nothing civilized about it. You got brother killing brother because the lights didn't go out on the automatic light in the car. Because he didn't turn the lights off. The car makes the lights go off when you shut the car off. You have a brother shooting a brother because he didn't turn the lights out. What's civilized about it? That's the great lie. That civilization, there's nothing civilized about it.
To be civilized, you have to embrace the programming. You have to be heavily programmed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what being civilized means. That's why
if
they
you look
call the native
if you look in,
savages. Go ahead.
if you look at 1754, when Ben Franklin sat with the Iroquois Confederacy, okay, and stated if a nation of savages can have almost a perfect constitution, then we could too. By the way, you're not doing the Constitution at all in America. There you go, just saying about that, because you're letting some of the stupidest people I've ever seen lead yourself. Anyway, we are a nation of savages? Is that what you're saying? Or are we still human? We've been calling ourselves the people to you for 600 years now. We are the people. We're the Dene. I'm from the people of the Longhouse, the Dene, the people. We've been saying that we are the people ever since you landed, and we're still called Indian. They still call us Indians. Okay? John Trudell actually stated one time is, how can we be an American Indian when we're actually older than America?
Mm-hmm.
That hit me like a brick when he said that. But here's the point. The point is we've been telling them for over 600 years that we are the people of the Longhouse, the people in general. And we're still called Indian, and we're not from India. We're from Turtle Island, see? But we've been telling them for 600 years we're the people. And we're still being called Indian.
Same as African Americans here. Most of the black people here are native. Their ancestries are native to Turtle Island.
Yes. There are some that are. The fact of the matter is, if you live here in America and you go, your ancestry goes back to, I don't know, Kenya, then you're from Kenya too, you're Kenyan too, ain't it? Be proud of everything you are, because that makes you. Everything on the DNA that you are, whether you be Lakota and Kenyan, just saying, then be proud of both heritage, man, because that's who you are. Learn from this. You got to know everything about yourself. If you're Scottish and Cherokee, then love both of it, man, because that's power.
Exactly.
You have to make your own. The true power is to sit on your front porch if you wish to and watch a storm coming. That's power. That's true power.
You have access to all the knowledge and power that your ancestors had.
Yes, you do.
Because
you got to open up and just. You have. See, here's the thing. If you have fear, if is fearing making you fear so much, and you're afraid to do this, you're afraid to do that, that takes away from the connection of who you truthfully are, and that is part of nature in itself. Believe me or not, the two-legged are just as much a part of nature in itself than anything else. And we're killing our mother. We're killing our mother, and we're killing everything of nature in itself.
We're just killing us.
Well, you're part of that nature. See, you're a two-legged animal on this planet, and people go, "Oh my God, I'm human. I'm not an animal." You're a mammal. You're a two-legged mammal. You're a freaking animal, man. You're a two-legged animal. You're the human animal, but you're still an animal. You're still part of this nature in itself. And we're killing it. How long would the two-leggeds go? As long as we allow these war pigs to continue to do what they're doing, which I don't know how long human society has, but as long as it has, as long as I'm walking this mother, I'm trying to call unity around the world. That's all I'm doing. And that's why these flags are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going out and buying the things. They're coming to me.
Without being requested.
So, I don't know. It is what it is, the way I look at it.
We were talking earlier about how powerful mixed blood is. And when you said what was going on in Scotland that came over here with, the person taking your wife before you could take her.
Yeah.
You have people on this planet. Not everybody has a strong spirit. And when people give in to the darkness, your spirit transforms into something else. It becomes tainted, so to speak. It becomes corrupted. Now, I want you guys just to piece some things together. We've talked about where curses come from, how you had rituals, blood rituals, where you would sacrifice somebody and open up that portal to the spiritual world so that the priest or shaman who was performing the ritual could call upon a negative energy or spirit into this world and attach it to themselves to give them power. And I want to just present some information. Look at how the Dalai Lama reincarnates. Does he not always reincarnate as somebody in that region? Why is that? Is it because he can reincarnate into his bloodline? And
it goes right back. It goes right back, Tony. To be honest with you, to what we were talking about earlier, with the coming back of the Peacemaker too. Everything happens within its time. So we have the same worldwide. We just don't look at it. You see, Tom?
Yeah.
Or do y'all agree with that?
It feels like with the energies that are coming into this planet, that if you can take power of if you can take over a suit, a biosuit, a human body that is mixed, that has a lot of power or a lot of power potential, you could easily attach a negative spirit to that body, much like you've seen in the movie Insidious.
Why do you think I'm becoming so much dangerous?
Exactly. This is why, like, we're not worried. We do want to present, the information to everybody, not to scare you or, to instill fear, but to give you power.
Relay the reality. There's so many people, Tony, in this world that are not living in reality.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going back to the mountain and getting focused. They're unfocused. They feel like someone else has the power, not them. When all in all, and spiritually, the power is just waiting to be let go of for yourself.
And if you're
It's
giving
that
your power
spiritual
away to somebody,
connection.
that's degrading yours.
Yes. So everybody has that power to relay themselves to what is real, their reality. Everyone has their own reality, but the reality, truthfully, is we are watching what's going on in this world, and we're sitting down thinking we have no power to stop it, when actually we do.
We have all the power.
It's time to go back. It's time for all people, black, white, yellow, red, brown, around the world, to get back to that mountain and get focused that you were tribal, and you got to stop with this me, myself, and I thing to get back to the we, us, and ours.
Mm-hmm.
That was taken away through the boarding school, residential school, see? We thought of we, us, ours, see? Not me, myself, and I. That was never done.
Let me get really nerdy for a moment, because I recently saw the X-Men Apocalypse movie, and it was a good action movie. But of course, when I go see movies, and I know some of you people are like this too, you analyze the messages that are actually being put into the movies, and breaking down the programming so that it does not affect you, but you can actually see it. Once you acknowledge the program, it does not affect you like that.
Mm-hmm.
You gain power over it. So there was something that I saw when Apocalypse was talking to Magneto, when he took him as his fourth horseman. He told him to reach down deep into the earth, because there is so much power that you could control, and that you can pull from the earth that you don't realize. And that's what I want. That message right there is what I want everybody to take from this. Reach down deep inside you and attain that power. Pull that power to the surface. And you can do the same thing as well.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I am a child of the mother. Okay? I am the child of the mother. In other words, I don't own this mother. She owns me, to be honest. Okay? And when I do things, if things gets really, 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 really down, I get really down, or I get bummed, or I see something going on that I can't, handle. I know that the mother can handle anything. Okay? So I sit down on the mother, and I talk to my mother. I talk to the Mother Earth. I give it to her. In other words, she can handle anything, maybe. So after I do that ceremony with her, and when I stand up from the mother, I feel a whole lot better. That's what I'm saying. That's reaching down and giving the mother. The same aspect in certain ways, Tom.
I definitely agree. And I am so grateful to Tracey for not only believing in me, because she actually approached me a couple of years ago, back in 2012, and said I need to do radio shows, and I just didn't believe in myself, but she believed in me. She was the first one to believe in me, so I definitely want to pay homage to her for that. And
well, I feel you, brother. I know exactly where you're going.
Yes,
I feel you, because I know where you're at.
But not only that, but she brought some amazing spirits, like Chief Charles Twodog, and And so I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I had an awesome time. Tracey's back. She's going to be doing her show. So thank you so much for joining us.